Hello, everybody. Today we have a very, very exciting training with Nicholas Johnson. And
Glad to be here.
thank you for coming in, bro.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nicholas is excited to share his experience with Telesales and how he does it. And you don't even leave your house to sell.
No, I do not. I transferred all my business.
And we say this is a ground floor opportunity with Family First Life but opening this up to people who maybe want to work part-time and can't go in the field for whatever reason, we think that we will add thousands and thousands of agents on this platform and end up helping a lot of people and a lot of customers as well.
Oh, yeah.
So if you can kind of just explain to us what you do and any training for someone that wants to add this as a tool in addition, or someone that is going to make this the way they do business.
Right. So definitely going through the transferring over all the business through phone sales. Definitely, there's a lot of good ways to do that. So for one, how I like to structure my my script, I love to be able to have a very strong opening. Very strong opening. So how I go through my presentation, I always have a very strong opening. This is where I give him my credibility sheet. I get my license because I want to create credibility about myself. And then second, I always go into what I'm going to go ahead and do today and who I am to set the tone, to let them know about myself and go over a couple programs about what we're going to do. Just basically just set the tone again. And then I go into what they're looking for. So I try to find out their motivation and why they're looking for this. Right. And then after that, I'll just go into a medical. I'll go into the medical. That's where I put out my financial sheet, and I start getting their medical situation to find out which company will be best for them. And then I'll just go to my presentation, and then I'll just transfer over to the application with them. That's basically what I do. And
What's your now? You got licensed in multiple states to
Yes.
get lead flow. How do you do that as an agent?
well, I have 10 licenses, and all I do is just basically just buy licenses in different states, and then just and leverage that. And I am able to get a lot more volume. I'm able to diversify my leads for different states, and especially when going over live transfers, it's nice because you get so much volume through different states coming in.
Got it. And what are your lead types? What do you work?
I worked multiple leads. So I worked instant leads. I love mortgage leads. The 1 month mortgage leads, I have a lot of success with that on the phones, and live transfers as well. So those three are very strong that I work.
And is it nipr.com? Is that how you add states?
Yes. That's how I add my states.
But it's one time, or you pay every 2 years? How does that work?
One time. So one time, and then they basically the same process that you did to get your original license for your state that you're living in, and you just pay for it. They'll run a quick check on you, then you're able to get that license for that state. So
But you don't have to go retake a test in all these different states.
No, nothing like that. So basically, they'll take all the information you put on your original state that you first got your first license in, and then they'll just transfer that information over to the state that you're requesting, and that's how you pretty much get it. I usually get a state within like 24 hours.
What live transfer companies do you use?
Well, there's three. I use Datalot, All Web Leads, and then Smart Financial. Those are three strong live transfers that I actually use for myself.
And how many do you get per day?
Per day, with all three turned on, I can probably get about 12 calls a day.
You'll get in the areas that you want.
In the areas I want. That's why it's so important to have multiple states under you, because you can get that volume, and it's a lot cheaper as well to do that.
So FFL is launching something probably in the next 30 days where you can get live transfers, and you can route them by county, zip, city, state, and the current volume is around 5,000 live transfers per day. And it's going to shake up the industry.
Oh, yeah.
But before that's launched, people can reach out to tons of companies that do live transfers, right?
Yes.
And see what they like, what they don't like. You found those ones. Why have you stuck with those three companies?
Those two companies, because one, they pre-verify clients before they get transferred to me, which is very important to have a verification system. You don't want to go ahead and have people call in that they just get basically off the street, that have no real high intent.
They cold call them.
Right. They'll just cold call them, then once they're on the line, they'll transfer them to you, which I've had some vendors that do that, so I had to kind of revamp some vendors I use. But the biggest part about transfers is the verification system before the lead gets transferred over to you to make sure they have intent. One, they have a bank account information because you don't want to be on the phone with someone that doesn't have it, which is going to be a huge problem. And just pre-verifying the lead before it gets transferred over to you.
What's your thoughts on or experience doing telesales with instant leads?
Definitely doesn't take away. You still have to work very hard. You have to keep calling, but I like to do call to closes. That's my favorite thing. So I'll call John. Hi, John. My name is Nicholas. I'm getting back to you about the form you filled out online, requesting information for programs to help pay for cremation, burial, and funeral expenses. I did have 10 minutes to go over a free quote now to get that information over to you and go over a couple programs you qualify for that. And I'd love to go over that with you. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
That's perfect. And then we'll go over, I'll start, perfect, grab paper and pen. And then we'll go through the whole presentation process.
Over the phone?
Over the phone.
That's a smooth intro.
Smooth, yep.
10 minutes to get you a free quote.
I love saying free because it takes off sales pressure. And I love using the word now. Just let them know, like, we're not doing this tomorrow. We're doing this right now. You know, I'm reaching out to you because you filled out a form. I'm taking my time out of my day to call you, and I would love to get the same respect back. And
If they pick up,
especially when I know they have a pen and paper in hand. That's huge because then I know they took some initiative to kind of go through the process with me, and then it's pretty easy there. I just go through the whole process.
So we'll go through the process, but I think something that's important to identify is that insurance sales is hard work.
Right.
And there's no shortcut to putting in work. So if someone does commit to this model, you still have to be a numbers person and learn your numbers. And would you say it's fair to say that people will get better over time?
100%. When I first started, I had to transition my business over to the phones. That was a big issue. And also a little bit of lead shortages where I'm from in Las Vegas, Clark County. I was facing lead shortages there. So I had to revamp my whole script, and I need to be able to diversify and touch other leads in different places so I never have a lead problem. So I was thinking long term, what happens if there's not a lot of leads here and I can't get the leads I need to book my 30 appointments per week?
In your area you're in.
In my area. So I had to definitely diversify. And a lot of it was just trial and error. Just trial and error, constantly revamping my script to find the right system to take a client from A to Z. That's the goal, and creating credibility in those points.
So now that FFL, and you're going to be building a telesales team.
Yes, sir.
Now that FFL is going to be training on this and bringing some of the guys who have proven it to be successful like you, what type of opportunity do you see that as being almost ground floor with FFL?
It's going to be a huge opportunity because, one, you can able to take someone from going in the field, maybe struggling, and closing it from their home, closing deals over the phone in their home, and be able to never have a lead shortage, to especially people who work part-time, to be able to do this because they can control their time a lot more over the phone. They can pretty much make their own schedule, which is great. And I could definitely, whoever wants to learn, I love teaching my system to teach them to be successful on the phones.
Once you do your initial phone script, can you do that one more time? And then I'm gonna get a pen and paper, and then I want to know what you say.
After the pen and paper?
Yeah.
Perfect.
But do it again, though, because it was good.
Yeah. So, hi, my name is Nicholas. I'm just giving you a call back about the form you filled out online requesting information for programs to help pay for funeral, cremation, and burial expenses. You put here that your date of birth is April 3rd, 1996. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. I did have 10 minutes to go over a free quote with you, just to go over a couple programs you may qualify for that. It takes only about 10 minutes, and I'd love to go over that with you. Does that sound fair?
Yes.
Great. First off, just go ahead and grab pen and paper for me, just in case you want to write down some important notes. You're able to do that.
Okay.
Perfect. And what is the email I can send my license over to?
Andrew at AOL.com.
Got it. See, that's so important right there, just to go ahead and give my license over to them because I can't do that in person. You want to let them know that you are legitimate. So when you ask for sensitive information, they know you're licensed. They know your name. They have all your information on your license. And I always send over my credibility sheet to let them know a couple of companies they have that I have, so they can go over that and review.
Do you ever text it to them?
I text to them, yes. I'll go and email it and text to them right after that.
That's the initial.
That's the initial, because I want to create credibility about myself right there, so there's not going to be any issue down the line.
Got it.
And then the second part, I love to be able to find their motivation. That's my second portion. I'll be like, what motivated you to look into life insurance or get something in place today? And they'll give me their motivation on why. And I ask, do you have a policy in place at this time? And then I start getting, I want to find out the problem so I can find value to solve it. Then next portion, once I find that and I feel good to move on, then we'll go into who I am. So I let them know I'm an independent insurance broker. I am contracted with over 25 state regulated carriers. I have so many options to choose from to one that fits something you're looking for and fit your budget, not the other way around, and find coverage that can be there for your family when that time comes. That's who I am. And I go into what we're going to do today. This sets the tone. So what we're going to do today, I'm going to verify your health. We're going to go over a couple of programs you may qualify for. And we're going to go over, I'm going to go ahead and submit an application once we find the best program for you that you have a high chance of getting approved with. And then once they say, I'm like, does that make sense? Yes, perfect. And I'll go through my financial inventory sheet, my medical, and that's when I kind of break down, have you had a heart attack, stroke, cancer in the past year? And I break down that. They say no, great. And then I'll go ahead and break down whole life and term. I'll be like, do you understand how term and whole life works a little bit? And then they'll say no, like not a problem. I'd love to break that down for you. And I'll break down whole life and term for about 2 minutes so they kind of have a good idea of what that is. And then I'll go into my presentation. And I always lean towards the one I think that's best for them. So if he's 75 years old, just for example, he's 75 years old, he's looking for burial insurance, I already know basically we're going to go whole life. So I'm already leaning towards whole life in that presentation. I give him the 3 options, like out of these 3 options, which one works the best for you? And which one do you want to see if we can at least try to get you approved with? I never let him know you're going to get approved. I always let him know which one do you want to try to get approved with. Right. And then that's how I lead it to the application.
Do you ever say, like, we're going to get this done real fast for you so that when you lay your head on the pillow tonight, you don't have to worry about this, it's done?
Yep. Yes, I do. That's why I always mention it takes about 10 minutes. I'd love to go over this with you. And we can do this all over the phone. So it's very convenient for you. No one has to come to your home, nothing like that. And I would love to go ahead and go over a couple programs you may qualify for.
So it's very similar to just an in-home.
It's very, but you just transfer it over to a phone. That's basically all you do. And the 3 things about a phone script you really want to get down is you really want to focus on the company. You want to have credibility about the company, credibility about yourself, and credibility about the product they're getting. If one of those 3 doesn't line up, it's going to be very difficult for them to actually initially
trust
buy.
you to give you the information over the phone.
Yes, because they can love the company, they can love the product, but if they don't like you, or they don't trust you, or you haven't shown credibility about yourself, they're not going to buy from you. They're just going to buy from another person. So you definitely need to have those 3 things lined up in the script.
I love that. Mm-hmm. So when I would be in an in-home, I would always say, my job is to find something that fits your needs and budget and make sure your family's protected. And that way, when you lay your head on the pillow tonight, you don't have to worry about if you don't wake up or you don't come home tomorrow, that you'll know that your family's taken care of and you won't have to think about it anymore. And I would always say that because I'm kind of closing them right there.
Right.
And we live in a world of like Amazon Prime. Like people want stuff done fast.
Yep.
Like Amazon Prime is going to deliver packages with drones within, 30 minutes at some point in the near future, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And I use that as a tool. I always use that as a tool to get more business with somebody. And I think about myself. I don't like having things that aren't done that I'm thinking about in the back of my mind that need to be done. You know what I'm saying? Right. Mm-hmm. Because you're just paying, it's like you're paying interest on something when you can just get it done and you don't have to think about it anymore.
Right.
And so if somebody called me to get health insurance and I signed up over the phone, really easy, auto insurance. Drew, how many property insurances do we have?
A dozen more, probably.
A dozen or more? I did all that over the phone, you know?
Right.
And I didn't want to go meet with somebody. And I think that what I love about this opportunity now with FFL is there's a lot of people that want to go in the home. There's some people that don't or can't. And I've had people go, I have a medical illness, I can't leave my house. And now I can make money. That's how grateful and excited for this, for the future on where we're going. The carriers that you're using, how easy is it to do an e-app over the phone?
It's very easy. I always lead with Americo first. I always go with Americo. I have that drilled into me, so that's definitely one of the strongest, best e-apps.
Why though? Why Americo? Is it because it gets instant issue?
That's the
it's
thing.
Easy?
Yep. And I always mention to the clients that, hey, you're going to get, once you are approved, you're going to get a hard copy within 3 to 5 business days sent out to you. And the good part is I can see right away if they will be approved or declined through the application. So I don't have to deal with underwriting a little bit. It's a lot faster and more convenient for them as well.
Now, what if you have to go to a different company?
Yeah, so I always leave with Americo, and worst case scenario, depending on their medical, I'll just pivot over to, if they're looking for whole life, I'll always pivot over to either Prosperity or Aetna. And term, we're always going to go John Hancock or AMM. So I'll just pivot, but Americo's always my starting point.
How legit is John Hancock?
They're a really good company. I like John Hancock, and I love that they tell me at the end if they're approved to decline. That's the biggest thing. I hate leaving customers on the edge when they basically say to me, "Was I approved? Was I declined?" I want to be able to tell them, "Yes, great, Mary, you were approved. You'll be receiving a hard copy in 3 to 5 days. You're all set. Here's my phone number. If anything, you have any issues, 24/7, you give me a call. I'm always there for you." And that's the best thing I love about it. I need to find something that allows me to have instant decisions, which I can relate to the client.
Right there when they're on the phone.
And it's very strong.
And that goes back to the Amazon Prime type of thing.
Right.
Like, it's done. Congratulations, this is done, and the policy will be in the mail. You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Yep. And it caters to so many people. Because a lot of people, they want to go ahead and just do it over the phone, more convenient for them. And the fact that you give them that option is great. Some people want you to come to their home, not a problem, but there is a second option we can do.
You know what I was thinking FFL agents can do, because there's such a big network of them? Let's say you meet with someone and they want to meet with somebody.
Right.
You can get an agent in that area and do a commission split that can go see them if you're not doing directs, if you're not doing in-home sales.
Yep. You can always do that. See, that's another avenue that you can go down if you want to do that. There's so many options, especially when you open up telesales. There's so many options you can go down.
Yeah.
And everyone wins. The client wins and we win.
What is some common struggles someone initially has?
Struggles for when I'm going through my presentation with someone?
No, just in telesales. Because I know it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Just due to the fact of they can hang up on you anytime. When you're in the home with someone, you can make a mistake and it's okay because they can still feel your energy. You're there, you care, and we're gonna get this.
You're in their house.
Yeah, I'm in your house, so and it allows a lot more leeway to be able to mess up and still be okay. On the phone, it's so easy just for someone just to hang up on you. You have to be perfect. That's why I mentioned the 3 10s. Always be strong with the company, always be strong with the product, and always be strong about yourself, and let them know that basically you're there for them, and going through the process and finding the problem and solving that problem for them through A to Z script.
Yeah. I went and I practiced my scripts, my in-home and my phone script with everybody that I knew when I got started. And then I would practice my phone script 50 times out loud in the mirror. Like looking at a mirror 50 times out loud.
Yep.
And I learned this thing so good. And I always would train that if you don't take the time to learn what you're doing, then when you're talking to a customer, you can't focus on them.
Right.
You're trying to focus on what you're supposed to be doing, which means you're focusing on you.
Yep.
And if you're focusing on you, you don't help the customer.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But you're smooth because you're on the spot. You have no scripts with you. You memorized your intro. You memorized your stuff, and that's why it's working.
Yep. And it's so great, especially on the phone. Let's say agents on the phone, they're closing a client. It's so nice. You can have literally your objection handlers right there. You can have your script right here if you don't memorize it fully. It's just so much control that you have to be able to pivot to different points when going over the phone with someone.
Do you have any kids?
Yes, I have a daughter.
How old?
She's 4.
And do you have any distractions at home trying to do this? How do you stay focused if you're working from home?
Well, I always have, it's nice because I do have my grandmother that watches my daughter, so it's always nice. So I can actually stay fully focused because, like I mentioned on the phone, it's not easy. You can't mess up. You really can. If you lose one credibility, the one I gave you, the 3 10s, if you lose one of that, you're done. So you have to be fully focused. So yes, it's nice to have my grandmother there to watch my daughter, so I can actually be able to fully focus on what.
Do you lock yourself in a room?
Oh yeah, I lock myself in a room and just dial into what I'm saying, and definitely it just helps when you care, when you definitely care and you dive into what you're trying to do.
Yeah, there's a book called The One Thing that I read a long time ago. Have you heard of that book?
No, I've not.
And part of it said if you truly focused on the one thing you're supposed to be focusing on, how effective you can be. And that a lot of times people are doing something, but they're thinking about something else. So it can take a 4-hour workday and turn it into a 12-hour workday based off of the percentage of focus you're giving something, right? And one of the things that it said in that book was you want to build a bunker that nobody can get into where you can focus and not be distracted, or it's going to be, hey, I need to wash my car, I need to pick up my dry cleaning, the lawn's dying, the whatever, and all of a sudden we trick ourselves into working when we're not. But the freedom that comes from this is when you're working and you're giving your 100% focus on what you're doing. When you're spending time with your family, you have the ability to have 100% focus on them. And something that's pretty miserable in this industry is when somebody's 50-50 on focus and attention when they're working, and then when they're with their family, they're thinking about working and they're 50-50 on that.
Right. So you definitely need to be able to have a place where that's your time to work, and you're not going to be bothered. If you have to maybe go to an FFL office, go there, but you need to have that full 100% focus on what you're doing. Especially at home, it's so easy to get distracted. So you need to be able to focus and have a quiet place you can go to definitely give the client 100% of your attention.
Yeah. Now, if somebody wanted to work with you, you can teach them. Now, they can do in-home too.
Right.
They can also do telesales if they wanted. What's your phone number if someone wanted to call you and work with you?
Of course, my phone number is going to be 702-574-5508. And I took a lot of time to duplicate my system, so I feel like I could definitely have any agent come on, and I can literally give them a script to give them how I loop, how I handle objections on the phone, and teach them to be successful, so they never even have to leave their house.
Even what your setup is like?
Yep, everything.
So I did the math a while ago. So now what I'm going to tell you will probably blow your mind, okay?
Okay.
So FFL has all these offices for agents to use all over the country.
Right.
And in Utah, I was just visiting one, and there's 50 seats for workstations in this new office that agents can utilize, right?
Right.
So I'm thinking, what if we got 50 people to make one sale a day, 5 days a week, right?
Oh, it's possible.
But dude, do you know how much that is in premium? I did all the math. And it's so doable, and it's also so profitable.
It is. It is, especially I can have any agent that comes aboard my team. I can give them the system to be successful, and the fact that I can have them close anywhere in the United States. There'll never be a lead shortage. There'll never be a problem, and I'm always there to help them out if they ever need it.
What is your goal for what you want to build?
I want to build a very big insurance agency through Family First Life and pretty much formed around telesales, and teach everybody that gets aboard on their team how to close on the phone, how to be successful on the phone. But if you want to run it home, great, but you can't have another outlook if you like.
Yeah, I had a guy in here yesterday. He's like, dude, I love in-home. So he's like, and the great thing is like the people that love in-home.
Right.
People that want to do phone.
Yep, and it gives you a choice. That's the thing. It gives you a choice.
It also takes down the walls when it comes to lead geo. So you don't have to worry about getting a bunch of leads in one area. I think that's the best part.
That is. Mm-hmm.
If I were to get back in the field, I would do a hybrid. I would still run my local leads, and then I would pick a day or two where I'd do some phone sales.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
You could literally do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, running in home, and then Tuesday, Thursday on the phone if you like. Or you can transition all your business on the phone, whatever works best for you. See, that's the thing, is being able to cater to the agent's strength and what the client wants. Some clients want to just do it over the phone.
Do you think it's harder than going in the home?
It just depends. It depends. It could be a little bit trickier just due to the fact that you need to have a really strong script. You have to know what you're saying. You have to be able to give their time. And it's a little bit trickier because you definitely can't mess up on the phone.
How many appointments do you have to book to make sales?
Appointments.
Or you're doing call to close, so you're not even booking appointments.
Right. I'll do call to close. I'll do transfers. So, and especially with transfers as well, I'll mitigate that with transfers coming in. So I have two strong vendors coming in. So from instant leads to transfers.
To some mortgage protection. Right. Think about, do you have any tips on persistency?
Definitely just have a really good follow-up game. Be really good at follow-up, because sometimes you'll have a person that doesn't have time today. Let's go over this tomorrow. Just book a time with them, go over that, and just keep following up to you.
So if you can't call to close, you book an appointment to talk to them over the phone. Do you send them text reminders, email reminders?
I have a whole template where I'll email them, I'll text them, and I'll just set that reminder for, let's say it's Wednesday, they want to book it for Thursday. I'll send text message, email reminder, and we'll go through it. And then usually 60% answer, and then we'll just go through the full process.
But you got to be willing to know 40% won't answer.
Yes, that's what Yeah.
And so it is volume.
It is. It's heavy volume. It really is.
And on live transfers, what % do you close? Would you say that this is something that's hard at first for somebody and you get better?
Right. It was a little bit trickier for me because with insurance, it's people definitely want to go in home and do that. So I was doing kind of the norm. I know we're the rogue IMO, so I was the rogue agent doing everything on the phone.
Good opportunity for you,
Yes, really good opportunity. And it just took a lot of revamping, a lot of objections to be able to find a system that works. And I read so many books through The Wolf of Wall Street, through Jordan Belfort. I read ABC Closer's Handbook, and I created a full script around that.
So if somebody's coming from another company or they're not even licensed, they can call you and they can help you if they wanted to join Family First Life.
Yep, they can help, and I will give them all the tools to be successful on the phone. And I'll even teach them in-home. That's where I started in-home.
So you can do in-home or phone.
I can do both.
I love it, man.
Yep.
Well, we're excited to build something. Do you have any personal goals that aren't about money, like anything that you have that's motivating you to build this?
Definitely my daughter. I think my daughter is the biggest motivator. I really want to build something for her that will be there for her when I go. And the key for me is I want to build a very big insurance agency, and I want to also build a real estate company. So this is what's driving. This is the bridge to that. And those two things I need to accomplish, and I will accomplish.
That's what I did, man. I used a lot of money in insurance in real estate investments because that was my original dream, was to be in buying real estate, not selling it.
Right.
But buying real estate investments and creating passive income. But I saw insurance as the tool to do that. And then when you really break it down, it's also the best tool for passive income.
It is.
With the system with Family First Life. So I moved even more of my focus to building an agency because it just made so much more money.
Right. Right. And you always have that. Those overrides always have that passive income come in, especially when you build the agency to where you want to be, and you can take that money and park it into other investments. This is the bridge to that.
You can take that money and park it into another thing that creates more passive income.
Yep. So you have two very successful businesses growing for you.
Yeah.
That's the goal. So very excited.
Well, we're excited to help a lot of people. Thank you for sharing, man.
Of course.
You didn't have to come in here and share what you're doing because you worked hard to learn all these things. And you're an open book to help everybody, and we appreciate you for that. Thank you for joining us, guys. If you haven't subscribed to our channel, pretty much every day now we have a top producer, top training,